Welcome back, Zone in Media. Big day for Boston sports last night, absolutely demolishing. You had the Boston Bruins who absolutely slammed the Panthers in a revenge night, and then you had the team we're going to talk about first, the Boston Celtics, blowing out the Wizards.
As expected.
Yeah, how we feeling?
Apparently the baddie count wasn't high enough for Jordan Poole.
Security detail.
That's all I can really add to the conversation on the Celtics because I was watching the team that actually matters right now. So
subtle jabs.
Okay. No, but I watched it when it was 24-9.
Yeah.
I was watching it when it was 24-9, and my God, they just couldn't miss. They were just hitting every shot. Jaylen Brown actually played a good game. The dribbling is a little more suspect than I thought it originally was. It's kind of a joke before, but now, he can't dribble with his left hand. So, we'll see how that goes. But, all around, just that's the type of win that you should have against a bad team. Really bad team like them. Other than the baddie count, but
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing you want to do is slam the doors off. When you're playing low competition kind of game like against the Wizards, it's important to keep your winning culture intact. You're playing a less talented team. You want to take this win as more for building for the bigger scheme. The Celtics aren't built to make the playoffs and go out in the conference finals. They're built to win the championship. So
exactly.
Take what you can, try to build good defensive winning culture, and take what you can from that win. Definitely happy about it.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, light work. Jaylen Brown cooked them. The transition three was beautiful.
absolutely.
We'll move in to the Bruins, who really had a big game, big showing against the Florida Panthers. We'll start with our Boston Bruins expert. Go ahead, Tom.
Going into the game, really wasn't sure what to expect. We knew this was going to be a test for them. We knew this was going to be a revenge match. They really came out a little slow, a little sluggish. I think they used up a lot of energy in the game on Saturday. Not really an excuse. But, we're not here to make excuses for them because they ended up winning. They ended up making the comeback, beating the team that, knocked them out first round. But again, regular season don't really matter if you make the postseason because postseason is a whole different animal. I really hope we get to see them again in the playoffs. And I really hope that, this time around we knock the stuffing out of them. We kick the cat off the cliff.
Yeah.
Threw the cat off the cliff, absolutely. I thought it was a pretty bad first period. I think the shots were 18-6 or something like that.
It was terrible.
Just looked like they were completely overmatched, but I have to give them credit. I know it was a regular season game, but probably the biggest test they've had so far, and they answered it. That overtime goal, that call by Jack Edwards, absolutely perfect. Just symbolized everybody's just frustration when they see the Florida Panthers. Just not a very gritty team, kind of what the Bruins want to be. They have guys like Tkachuk who will go to the front of the net, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett. Unfortunately, Sam Bennett got hurt. But they got guys very hard-nosed guys go to the front of the net. Bruins have a guy now like that in James Van Riemsdyk and Luch, obviously. But
Zaka's kind of, going to the net.
Zaka's going to the net much more than he did. So I think they're kind of like the team that the Bruins want to be with the effort level and the hitting intensity and all that stuff. The Bruins are still a better team. I still believe that. I still think that Florida is a good team. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I think they're more of a wild card team. But that was definitely a big test, and I think the Bruins passed it. That hit by McAvoy was probably suspendable, so he might be gone about a couple games, 3 games, but we'll see. But other than that, Matt Grzelcyk left too. So hopefully we get Mason Lohrei up here, and we'll see how he does, Mr. Lowrider.
Also, we're still waiting on the decision on whether Matty P is going to be playing the rest of the regular season.
I would be absolutely shocked if he is not up here. I also hate. I have one more thing. I hated that they moved Coyle up to the second line again. I like Coyle with Frederick and Van Riemsdyk on that third line because I think Matty P is a better second line fit. I think Coyle's honestly the best third line center, and I think that him and Frederick work very well together. And I think if JVR can manage it a little bit, I think he'd be a really good third line.
But they did it for Jake DeBrusk apparently, who has been an absolute no-show through the first 9 games. Bruins are now 1-0-1 in overtime.
And Lindholm also doesn't have a point.
But Hampus Lindholm isn't expected to get points. He's expected to play defense and score here and there. Yeah. But it's 9 games. A defenseman to score a point in 9 games doesn't happen as often as you would think.
Jakey DeBrusk.
You need a forward that's going to score points, and Matty P is that forward. Jake DeBrusk, on the other hand, right now is not that forward. And they have a tougher test coming up on Thursday against Toronto, which we will talk about a little more later in the week.
Definitely, yeah. I loved Charlie Coyle next to JVR. I thought JVR was going off with Coyle next to him. So definitely unfortunate, but I've been singing the praise of the high maintenance Jake DeBrusk for a while now. So we'll see what happens with him. All they try to do is keep him happy, but he just keeps whining.
Exactly.
We'll move on to our World Series coverage. You got the Texas Rangers, who bounced back in a big way in Game 3. Max Scherzer gets injured after 3 innings, so they're all in on this game, throwing their bullpen in the 4th. And they get the job done in a big way. They had to get that win, the Texas Rangers. I am standing with Rangers in 5 now. I like what I'm seeing.
I picked Rangers in 6. I'm sticking with that. I think that Arizona's going to steal a game, maybe even today, because I think the Rangers bullpen got overused yesterday. I think they knew it was going to be a little bit of a bullpen game, but I don't think they thought they'd come in the 4th inning. The big things it's going to determine the rest of the series is Adolis Garcia's health. He left that game. It might be an oblique injury. I don't know. That might turn the tide of the series. So I'm really not sure what's going to happen there. You're going to have Travis Jankowski probably come in, who's probably going to be your 8th hitter, and you're going to have a lot more on Seager, Simeon, Evan Carter. So you got more pressure on those guys. I think it's still going to be 6. I think the Diamondbacks win tonight in a battle of the bullpens, and then the Rangers get the next 2, come back to Arlington, and absolutely just celebrate like Texas does.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Rangers in 7. I think Arizona is going to steal this game. It wouldn't really be a steal, I guess, because they're at home. And then they're going to go back to Texas. Texas will take that one. I think they're going to go back to Arizona in Game 6, and Arizona's going to take that game. There's not a lot of doubt in my mind about that. Tough look for Scherzer to get hurt. But these two teams, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They have the fight in them. They're both resilient. But honestly, I'm gonna stick with Texas in 7. But I wouldn't be too surprised if it was 6 because Texas is gonna want to win it for Scherzer or whatever. Or Garcia if Garcia is long-term hurt. So I think Texas is the kind of team that would end up doing something like that. We've seen it in the past with teams who've lost big key guys in the playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised if Texas wins in 6, but I'm going to stick with Rangers in 7.
Yeah, when Scherzer went down, it looked pretty tough, but Gray came in last night and killed it. 3 innings. So you're not going to see him tonight, obviously, but in the closeout, I can see him coming in and playing a big role. Heroic performance by Gray and the Rangers. When does Nasty Nate get in there? Is that today?
That's what I'm thinking with the off days.
Because when I would be afraid.
It might be the next game because
Nasty Nate in the closeout.
You went 1-2 break. I think he'd come out 5. Yeah, Game 5. So you'd have Game 5. Yeah, Game 5 would be Evaldi. Game 6 would be Jordan Montgomery.
Okay, and Montgomery's really good too.
What would be interesting is if it goes to a Game 7, you'd have Scherzer. Might have to pull a Kirk
Andrew
Gibson.
Haney's the expected starter for today.
Okay.
So he might have to pull a Kirk Gibson or Kurt Schilling, and just gut it out in a Game 7. and then you have Fott on the other side, and he gives up a lot of home runs. So that would be an interesting Game 7 if it goes there.
Yeah, if it gets to Game 7, I'm definitely a little nervous about
Yeah.
Texas in that spot.
Yeah.
Because their pitching is getting depleted left and right. I think they got to close it quick.
Yes.
Big game tonight
Absolutely.
in Arizona. If Texas wins tonight, I think it's in 5. But hey, we'll see how it plays out. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you.
Hope they trade Mac Jones today.
Oh, yep, deadline. We're on watch for the deadline. Mac to Minnesota. Keep your eyes on that.
Let's go, please.
And Uche is out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.